To welcome an NBA All-Star. That's so much fun to say. Jayson Tatum, thank you for joining us. Jay, as the season gets started, do you feel it? Do you feel like it's a new season?
Yeah, I feel like it. Obviously, it's a quick turnaround. Things are obviously a lot different, but I miss hooping. So, a lot of other people, I'm just ready to be back.
Well, I was going to say it was a short off season. People barely had time to catch their breath, but you had time to do something very important. You signed a 5-year, $195 million extension with the Celtics. Obviously, that's a great referendum on what you have done so far in your career, but it's also an investment in you for the future. What type of pressure are you putting on yourself by signing this deal?
Yeah, I look for it as a partnership. Obviously, this is where I want to be for a very, very long time, and I was glad that we were able to make that happen. And what I do on the court, and be able to, inspire people and compete for championships is more important than, I guess the money and things like that. If you go out there and compete and accomplish all those things, the money will come. And, I'm super grateful for it. Obviously, it's life-changing, myself, Deuce and his kids. But, I'm more focused on basketball and just the love of the game in that aspect.
Well, I'm sure Celtics fans appreciate hearing you say that, but I still got to ask, did you make any big purchases? I mean, something you had to have given yourself for that deal.
No, I haven't got anything. I don't spend any of my NBA money. I save it all and invest it. So I only spend my endorsement money. So I'm still stacking that up.
That is a good strategy. I did want to ask you about your team because you've had guys in and out, right? Gordon Hayward's not there anymore. Kemba Walker not going to be able to start the season because he's taking care of that knee. How does that change things for you guys as you try to get off to a hot start here?
Yeah, I think it kind of has to elevate everyone else's game. Starting with myself and JB and Smart. We got to pick up the slack. And the new guys, we got T and Tristan. Veteran guys that have been doing this for a while. And even the rookies, everybody has to be ready to step up. These uncertain times. And, when we got some guys out, especially in the start of the season, we don't want to fall behind. We want to get off to a great start like everyone else. So we're just going to need more from everyone.
Well, I don't mean to invite you on here and then hit you with an investigative gotcha question. But, Jayson, I'm just going to go there. I am. Did you really grow 2 inches? Because Brad Stevens came out and told everyone that you went from 6'8" to 6'10". And we want to know the truth here at the jump. We can handle the truth.
Nah, he said that last year. I think just after a game, something I might have looked 6'10", but growing my hair up. So hopefully that helped with my height.
I don't know. I like the back and forth you have with Donovan Mitchell over it. I guess you're kind of always growing and you're always a teenager still in the NBA. Do you have any butterflies for opening night, Jayson? Do you still get those?
Butterflies, yeah, I get excited. It's kind of like first day of school. I remember my first game in the NBA. I was a lot more nervous, but the excitement is still there. And I think that's where the butterflies come in, and I love playing this game, and thankfully we get another opportunity to do so.
I love it. Jayson, thank you so much. Best of luck to you guys this season. We'll be talking to you plenty.
Really open. The Lakers, they got their championship rings, the priciest ones, might I add, in NBA history, but once the club away, 116 to 109. Paul George, that guy, remember last season? What had happened? Yeah, he scored 33 points last night. So, Max, are the Clippers the team that the Lakers need to be most worried about this season?
I can't say that at all. I can't say that at all based on yesterday. I take no stock in that game. I wasn't expecting the Lakers to do a whole lot. A championship hangover. They finished playing last. They're not going to get ramped up for a little while. And I think largely people understand that, right? But more than that, Stephen A. Paul George scored 33, so what? Opening night, so what? I need to see Paul George score 33 closing night, not opening night. And that's the whole question about this team. Now, Do I like what they've added to the team? Do I like Ibaka? Oh, yeah. And we both agreed that Ibaka was an upgrade on Montrezl Harrell, who's a nice player. But Ibaka can also shoot it and can defend. And he's a veteran with championship experience, all that. That's a really nice pickup. They did not get Rondo. They did not get the point guard who can organize that offense. Batum, if a dude like that is interested, right, because he got his money and he went to a place where they weren't going to be competitive and we all forgot about him, and frankly, he didn't play very well. But if he's going to be interested and still has some gas in the tank, that's an interesting pickup. Is that enough to make me think that the Clippers are going to be the biggest threat to the Lakers? When, for example, I saw last year the Clippers got by the Mavericks because and only because Porzingis was unfairly fouled out of a game. The refs threw him out of a game he should not have been thrown out of, and then he got hurt. If Porzingis is healthy, Mavericks are better than the Clippers last year. I watched it, and I picked the Clippers. And I said after that series, Mavericks are a better team than them. Maybe the Nuggets are too, right? Like a team the Clippers actually lost to. Let's see what happens with Porter Jr. I can't say based on day one, when you're not in the playoffs and Paul George shows up, I want to see playoff PG-13 become a compliment, not an insult. Then I'll buy the Clippers.
Well, first of all, I can say that the Clippers are the biggest threat to the Lakers because last night had nothing to do with that. I felt that way coming into the season. And here is the reason why. I don't think we'll ever see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George more motivated with the acquisition of Serge Ibaka and Ty Lue coaching them and having the cachet to hold them accountable, even more so than Doc Rivers. Remember, when Doc Rivers inherited them, he was in his 6th year in Los Angeles. There was questions as to what his future was going to be as the Los Angeles Clippers coach, because sometimes when you're there and you're in a particular place long enough, sometimes they feel they just need a new voice, and you had people close to Ballmer that didn't necessarily want Doc Rivers to be retained. So as a result of that, he walked in the last season with all of that going on. Then you combine that with the bubble and the bubble play because the NBA season was halted. The reality of the situation is that Ty Lue is in a better situation than Doc Rivers was to coach this team. Now, you're Kawhi Leonard. Unlike your first championship in San Antonio, unlike your second championship in Toronto, you are the face of this franchise, meaning these Los Angeles Clippers. They mortgaged the farm in order to get you by giving you what you wanted in terms of acquiring Paul George. So as a result, it's not just Kawhi's responsibility. Paul George, to a degree, is also Kawhi Leonard's responsibility because you asked for all of this stuff. Well, they gave you all the pieces that you needed. What you gonna do about it? You're the one that had the commercial. You're the one that had the crown dangling from the mirror in your car. You're the one that put everybody on notice with your New Balance commercials that you had arrived, and it was a new day as a result that had arrived in Tinseltown. And then you came up short in the Game 7. Now, we can look at Paul George hitting the side of the backboard, which we all brought up, and we can't erase that. But he did drop 33 in Game 6. He did drop 26 in Game 5. It wasn't like he was a flat-out scrub, for crying out loud. He had a bad night in the Game 7, which is not excusable. But it was even worse for Kawhi Leonard because so much more was expected from him, and he was an absolute no-show. MIA, missing in action, couldn't be found, while Jamal Murray was giving him 40. So what I'm saying to you is that with all of that stuff going on, and now LeBron James being a championship in the same building, in the same city, in the same town, with you still having those damn commercials, I think they're highly motivated. And as a result, we're going to see the Clippers come at the Lakers. I think that that's their problem, Max. They wasn't even interested in playing anybody else but the Lakers. The Clippers get up for the Lakers unlike they get up for any other team in the NBA. If you're talking about what could happen to them beforehand, fine. But if you're talking about a matchup face-to-face, you against me, the Los Angeles Clippers are the most significant threat to the Los Angeles Lakers because that's the one team they get up for every night.
Well, I don't know that. I don't even know that that's true, that I would say that they present, like in a matchup, the biggest challenge for the Lakers. I'm very interested, for example, in our game tonight, the Suns and the Mavs, right? I know no Porzingis, but like teams like that, let's see what happens with those guys. Like, as you know, I like the Mavs as my sleeper, but you got to even watch a team like Phoenix. Phoenix is loaded. So I don't know that they match up, the Clippers match up best with the Lakers simply because of motivation. I like the Kennard pickup, like Shamet for Kennard is kind of like the Seth Curry for Richardson trade, right? Like, you're giving up maybe better shooting, although both, obviously Kennard can also shoot. You're giving up better shooting for maybe a better player, a guy who's going to get more minutes. Like, the Clippers did improve in the offseason, but I don't know to say enough to be better or more dangerous to the Lakers than, say, the Mavericks. When you think of the Mavs, if Porzingis stays healthy, when they're